On this video, I'm going to show you some advanced boxing moves to up your game. And as you can see, we've got this bar across the bottom here, so you can go to any section you want. And I recommend you email yourself this video and then watch it just before you're going into the gym, and I guarantee you it will help you. Starting off with moving and punching. If you can't move your feet and punch at the same time, you're in trouble if you ever get in the ring. And if you're pretty new to boxing, it's very, very complicated to move and punch at the same time, because you got to think about so many things, like keeping your hands up, turning your hips, breathing, relaxing your shoulders, keeping your loose knees, stepping with your front foot first and your back foot. There's so many different things to think about if you're new to boxing. So moving and punching is pretty difficult. And on this video, I'm going to give you the simplest way to learn how to do this, so the next time you're in a gym, you can practice on that. So for this video, I've changed my heavy bags around. I've got the teardrop bag up, because with this, I can swing it there, because I need something swinging if I'm going to move and punch. And now the key to moving and punching at the same time, obviously it is your feet. Way too often, I'll see people when they're sparring, or if they're on a swinging heavy bag, the bag will be moving like that. They'll keep their feet still, and then when the bag's going away, they'll throw the punches, and then they'll overextend, the bag will be going away, and they're leaving the feet there. They're leaving the feet behind, so they're not moving and punching, and they're not getting any power in the punch. And as well, if you think about it, if I throw punches like this, I'm kind of off balance to throw anything else. And that is a very common mistake I see with this. The key to moving and punching is stepping the same time as you punch. Example, the bag is moving. If I want to throw a jab, jab, cross, I need to step, jab, jab, cross. So what I did is I stepped and punched, stepped and punched, stepped and punched with the cross, keeping my feet underneath us all the time. You never want to bring your head forward. If you think, I've got this line here, we actually got a line there, I never want to bring my head in front of the line when I'm throwing these punches. So I'm keeping my head behind the line, keeping my feet underneath us. Ba, ba, ba. I want you to focus on how my feet and my hands move at the same time. Here it is. Ba, ba, ba. Keeping the feet underneath us. Again. Ba, ba, ba. Now moving backwards. The same thing applies. I want to step and punch at the same time. This time when I punch with my front hand, boom, my back foot's moving. Rather than moving forward, when I'm moving my front foot and my front hand, this time my back foot, front hand. They look like this. Ba, ba, ba. But the feet still underneath us all the time. Again, a little bit faster. I'm here. Ba, ba, ba. Feet underneath us. And that is basically it. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba, ba. Keeping your feet underneath you. And I've done a full video giving you ladder drills to get better at this. Click the link below, check out the full video where I give you 25 ladder drills that can help improve your boxing. And now my favorite combination that I love to throw on a heavy bag while moving forwards and backwards, it's a 1-2-1. This combination is great because it's great to cut the distance down. And it looks like this. 1-2-1. Now you can see how much the bag swung there because I got lots of power in it. So the combination, again, it's a 1-2-1. Here it is again on the bag. 1-2-1. Stepping in with that last punch. You get a lot of power in that last punch. Again. 1-2-1. Ooh. Now you can move and punch. When you get inside, you need to know how to fight when you're inside, and that's what this is going to help you do right here. On this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips to create gaps when you're inside to be able to land the punches. So tip number 1 is get him to raise his hands so you can hit him in the body. And how do you get him to raise his hands? Is by hitting him high. If you hit him high, the arms are going to come up to defend, and then you're going to go low. So we're inside. Now, if I threw this one, you see there, his arm come up. I throw this one, come up, I can throw that one. Now, if I throw that one, his arms might be tight where he doesn't open up the body. So the body's not open. So what do I do again? I'll throw that one, I'll throw that one. So what I've got to do, I've got to keep working inside here until I see that gap and then throw it. So that's really it. So punching, get them arms to come up. As soon as you see that gap, boom. Whip that body shot in, and the body shot doesn't have to be that hard. You've just got to hit him in the right place at the right time when he's not expecting it, and that will do the damage. So tip number 1 is hit him high till the arms come up and then blast them low. Tip number 2 is feinting, and what I see on this channel all the time is get your opponent to do what you want him to do. And what I want him to do is drop his hand so it opens up a gap where I can punch him. Now I might be fighting a guy who loves to parry my punches. Now if he parries my punch, I know if I do a realistic feint, that hand's going to come down. And guys, I've done a full video on feinting. Check it out on this channel. You'll love that one, to master the feint. So again, I'm here. I feinted. I know that comes out. Where does that leave him open? It leaves him open round the side. What punch can I throw? A hook. So I'm here, I feint it, boom, boom, come straight around. Then I can follow up with a cross from that. So it'll be a ba, 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 there. Or what I can do is jab him in the body. Jab him in the body. Boom. How's he defending? That arm's coming down again. Boom, coming down again. This time, boom, there. Getting him to move his arms to create that gap, and then I can land them punches. And tip number 3 is what British heavyweight amateur boxing champion Warren Baster used to do to me all the time, and he really taught me how to do this. And what it is when we're inside, he would pull down with his lead hand, my rear hand, which left me open there. Then he would throw that rear uppercut, and it would look like this here. I'll be here, boom, there. And I wouldn't expect that punch to come, because this is down. You don't really expect this one to come, because you'd think it was getting blocked with that punch, but it's not, and it was going through and it was landing. So what else he used to do when he was doing this, he would pull it down and he would pull me into him, which put me off balance, which again got in my head and got us thinking, and then he would throw that uppercut followed by that hook, and it would look like this, a bit faster. So over there, boom, boom, boom. And he would also do it from the other side, where he would pull down my lead hand and pull me in, which left me open there with a boom, boom. 2 shots like that. You want to know how to punch the hardest in the world? Well, this tip right here is something that coaches don't teach you. This technique of power punching, it's risky, but you'll surprise yourself how hard you can punch when you try this. On this video, I'm going to tell you, show you, and teach you the most powerful one punch in the world. Now, you might be thinking, how can I punch the hardest in the world? Well, chances are you can't, but what you can do is punch harder. Now, this punch you can use in a boxing fight. You could use it in a street fight if you're trying to defend yourself. So you're probably thinking the hardest punch is your overhand right, which looks like this. Woo. And as you can see there, that was a hard punch. You could hear it, you could see it, overhand right. But that's not the hardest punch. It's hard and you can do some damage with that, but that's not the hardest one punch that you can do. You might think a big swing with your lead hand is the hardest punch, and it looks like this. It's a hard punch, but again, it's not the hardest punch in the world. You might think a straight right hand does the damage, which looks like this. Now that was a hard punch. Look at the back swinging. That's a hard punch. But again, that there is not the hardest punch in the world. But if I change my technique on throwing that punch, then I will get to the hardest punch in the world, or the hardest punch that I can throw. You might have heard punching power starts in the feet. Well, it does, as long as you're doing the right technique with the footwork. And with the footwork, it'll increase the power of that straight right hand probably by twice as much. And here is the technique behind the hardest punch in the world. So in boxing, what you should do, you should step forward with your front foot first, followed by your back foot. But what we're going to do with this, we're going to step with our back foot, followed by our front foot. Now with that movement there, and the punch behind it, is where you get the hardest punch that you can possibly throw. And it'll look like this. I used to love throwing the screw shot in boxing, but coaches don't teach this anymore. But don't worry, I've got your back. I'm going to teach you the screw shot. If I throw a regular jab, as you can see here, he's catching them, he's blocking them. And if I can't get through that tight guard with the jab, then I'll start adding in the screw shot. And when I start screwing that left hand through, it will go through the middle and I will have success, just like you can see right here. The screw shot in boxing. This is a difficult punch to throw, but it's got so many benefits to it. And on this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to throw the screw shot, how to have success with it. So the screw shot basically is with your lead hand. You can't throw it with your backhand, a little bit more difficult. But with your lead hand, we're going to screw your hand through the middle there. Now you might be thinking, well, what's the difference between doing this and just a normal jab? Well, the idea with turning your arm and turning your hand is to screw your hand through the guard. Now, if you can see here, Glenn's got his hands tight together, right? If I throw a jab, it kind of goes there. It's sticking there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw my hand through the middle of them gloves, like that. It's making my hand thinner and coming round and then blasting them in the face. So if I'm here, this is what it looks like. And I'm screwing it through, whoom. And that's the finished position there. I'll show you from this side. So I'm here, just like a jab, but I'm turning the arm around. And getting through them gloves. So then if I am in a fight and he is defending and blocking that, my goal is to screw it through the middle there. Now, what else is great about this shot is setting up your number 2, your cross. If I'm screwing this through here and stepping with it, and then throwing the right hand after that, I get so much power in the punch. The momentum of the ba-ba is amazing. So here, a quick demo. I'm going to screw it up, then come back with the right hand. And as you see, the punch is landing the same time as my foot. That helps with the momentum. So here, ba-ba, getting lots of power. Ba-ba. And then if you're in sparring, in a fight, and you try that, yeah, it's great. But first, I would just start off trying that screw shot. And another thing you can do if you are struggling with this is you can dip and then you can come up with it as well. Because when you do that dip, he might think you're going to throw the jab. So it's a dip for a feint, dip, whom, and then come straight up. Dip, whum, and then you can follow up with your other punch. I used to love this punch as an amateur boxer. I had so much success with it. But it just comes down to keep practicing. You can practice on the bags, you can practice on the mitts, you can practice in sparring, getting into good habits of throwing this. So how do I land the body shot after throwing the screw shot? Well, if you think about it, if I'm throwing that screw shot through to the head, whoom, his hands go higher. What I'm going to do there is rather than go straight to the body, which you could do, which would be boom, boom, I'm going to go to the head again to keep his hands up. So I got the screw shot there, hands come up, going across, then from there, I can see the opening there, whoom, whipping in that body shot. Now, if you do this fast, if you think about speed, think about the sound of the speed, ba, 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 think about that and then throw them, it'll be like this, ba, 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 like that, again. And that right there will give you success at landing them body shots. Boxing is very tiring, but there's ways of being able to save energy so you can do more in your training. And I'm going to show you right now. Boxing is a full body workout. You're using just about every single muscle in your body every time you are hitting the bag, sparring, fighting. So yes, you will get tired. But after watching this video, I'm going to give you 4 ways to be able to reserve that energy so you can last longer in your training session. And the longer you last in your training session, guess what? You'll get more out of the session, whether you're training, sparring, or fighting. Number 1 is don't always look for power punches. If every punch you throw is a power punch, doesn't matter how fit you are, you're going to burn out fast and get tired fast. You're going to punch fast and light. Look for good technique. You know, it's kind of like if you went out for a run to try and improve your endurance that way, and you want to do like a 3-mile run, you wouldn't try and sprint the 3 mile, or you will get tired really, really fast. Same with punches. If you're looking for power, every single punch, you will get tired very, very fast. Now, number 2 is don't waste punches. This is more for if you're in the ring and you're sparring or you're fighting. Don't be wasting punches. Don't be throwing punches that is not going to land. Don't be missing punches. You know, pick your punches. If you can pick your punches, you're not going to be throwing as many punches because it's hard to pick punches. But if you're picking your punches, I'm here, picking the punch. I'm here, I'm moving. Picking the punch. Rather than wasting punches if you're training on a bag. What I'm doing now, I'm wasting punches, getting tired, throwing unrealistic combinations. And if you're new to this channel, you will know that I love realistic boxing combinations. So throw realistic combinations and pick your punches. Number 3 is learn when to rest. If you're sparring, let's say for instance, there doesn't have to be action all the time. You don't have to be going head to head all the time, non-stop trying to fight. You can stay relaxed, you can move your feet, you can work around, and knowing exactly when to punch and when not to punch. This comes with experience, but just think, there doesn't always have to be action. You know, go for a little dance, get on your back foot, move, drop your hands, breathe. Yes, I said it, drop your hands. And if your opponent's out of the way, I can do what I want with my hands. I'll put them behind my back and do what you want with your hands. You know, relax, breathe, know exactly when to rest. And now moving on to number 4, before I give you the conditioning exercise, Number 4 probably links with all of the other 3, and it's probably the most important, which is breathe. Know when to breathe. Now you might be thinking, Tony, what are you talking about? I breathe all the time without even thinking about it. Yes, you do. But guess what happens? As soon as you get in the ring, or as soon as you're on a heavy bag and you try to punch hard, 9 times out of 10, especially when people are new to boxing, they'll start holding their breath. You know, no. You want to be breathing. You want to be exhaling with each punch. When you're exhaling with each punch, you know, it's going to save you energy rather than holding your breath and using loads of energy. So that's the 4 right there. Don't look for power every punch. Don't waste punches. Know exactly when to rest and learn how to breathe. Them 4 things will help you save so much energy next time you're boxing. But even with them 4 right there, and your boxing conditioning is not good, you will get tired. So you need to improve your overall boxing conditioning to be able to go longer in the ring. And when you do, then we'll help you amazingly. So what is the best thing you can do to improve your conditioning for boxing? Well, it is box. Yes, you know, everyone's trying these new fancy things, these new fancy exercises or pieces of equipment, but you can't beat boxing to get better and fitter at boxing. Hitting the heavy bag. If you can hit a heavy bag for 8 3-minute rounds with a 40-second rest, you are in great shape. If you can build up to hitting the heavy bag for long periods of time with a shorter rest, you're going to improve your conditioning. Now, if you're new to boxing, 8 3-minute rounds is ridiculous. Go for 4 2-minute rounds with a 1-minute rest in between. Once you start getting comfortable at that, a couple of weeks, then you can slowly increase it. 6 2-minute rounds, 8 2-minute rounds, 10 2-minute rounds. Then you've mastered the 2-minute rounds. Let's go to 3-minute rounds. We'll do 4 3-minute rounds with a 1-minute rest. Build that up and then start shortening your rest time in between. And that right there, my friend, will definitely help you get fitter at boxing. You want to know how to punch fast, right? Who the hell doesn't want to punch faster? Well, these speed tips will definitely help you. Whoa, look at that. Now you might think, whoa, Tony, you were punching really fast. They must have speeded this video up in edits. Well, they didn't. They didn't speed it up. I'm punching that fast because that's how fast I actually am. And I'm that fast because I've been doing different exercises that can improve my hand speed. And on this video, I'm going to give you 3 exercises that you can do the next time you're in a gym that will help improve your hand speed. So exercise number 1 that you can do is shadow box with these bad boys here, with dumbbells. Shadow boxing with dumbbells is something I used to do all the way through my career, whether it be 2 pound, 3 pound, 4 pound, 5 pound dumbbells. Anything over 5 pound gets a little bit heavy. So now when you're shadow boxing with dumbbells and you're thinking about punching fast with these, what happens is when you're not using the dumbbells, when you haven't got the weight here, your hand speed is going to improve and get you be able to punch faster. So what I used to do when I was working 3-minute rounds of shadow boxing, for the first 45 seconds of the round, I've got the dumbbells up. I'm working on speed. Next 45 seconds, I'll throw these down. And straight away, my hands have improved in the hand speed. Next 45 seconds, pick them up. Next 45 seconds, I'll put them down. And another great thing about shadow boxing with dumbbells, yes, like I said, it improves your hand speed a lot, but as well, it helps you with shoulder and arm endurance. Our hands sometimes get tired when we're on the heavy bags or when we're shadow boxing or for sparring, and the hands will start to drop down. But when you've been shadow boxing and you're used to having 2 to 4 pound dumbbells in your hands, keeping your hands up, like I say, it really helps the endurance in your arms and helps you be able to keep your arms up as well. I mean, if you think about it, our arms is not used to being in this position. Our arms used to be in this position. So our arms do get tired. So when we do lift them up, even when you've just got wraps on or gloves on, they will get tired. But shadow boxing with them bad boys right there is going to help improve your shoulder endurance and overall your hand speed as well. Moving on to number 2 is using this guy for shadow boxing. This is a resistant band right here. Now you can get these at different resistance. It's like a big elastic band. This is a pretty intense, tough resistance band. What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to throw it around my shoulders, put it under my arms, put my thumbs inside of it like this in my boxing stance. And now I'm going to shadow box with this. Now this is even tougher than the dumbbells. The reason being, when I throw a jab, this is trying to pull my arm back. So it's pulling my arm back. It's really engaging all of the muscles in my arm. And I'm pushing my arm out. So this is very difficult to do. Now if I can punch fast with one of these, when I haven't got this, imagine how fast I can punch, a lot faster. And like I said, this is another great thing to engage the muscles on your arms. No matter what you're doing in boxing, it's going to help with your overall fitness and overall endurance of your upper body and your shoulders. And like the dumbbells, what you can do is 45 seconds on, 45 seconds off with one of these if you're doing the 3-minute rounds. If you're doing 2-minute rounds, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and focusing on speed. Obviously, we want to focus on good form because like I always see on this channel, it's perfect practice makes perfect. So you always want to be practicing perfect, but we concentrate on speed. And this is what you're watching this video for, because you want to learn how to punch faster. And this is exactly that. This is going to really help improve your overall hand speed. Now, tip number 3 is a great little drill that you can do. And this, you don't need any equipment for. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get in my boxing stance here. And I'm going to just throw 30 jabs as fast as I can. So I'm here. Just working on pure speed. So when we throw it out fast, we want to bring it back fast as well. So you're not just concentrating on bah, leave it out, bah, looking for the power jab. We work on speed. So we're out and back really fast. Bah, 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 bah. Working on 30 of them. Then we can work on the cross. Working on that good form as well. Then we can work on the hook. 30 of them. Thinking about speed. This is not just going to help you with your speed, it's going to help you with your form as well, because I want you working again on good form. If you're throwing the cross and it's like, bah, 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 that's wrong. That's just going to get you in a bad habit. It's not going to improve anything, it's going to make you worse. So you've got to turn that hip. Bah, 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 bah. Working on good speed, good form, good technique. Now let's do 30 of them. So you do 30 jabs, 30 cross, 30 hook, and if you want, you can add the uppercuts in. 30 uppercuts. That right there is 120 punches you're going to throw. Do that, have a minute rest, do it again, have a minute rest, do it again, and then you're done. So 3 sets of that. That right there is 360 punches that you're going to work on. Now think about it. If you're concentrating about throwing 360 punches, all fast, what's going to happen? You're going to end up being able to punch faster, right? Makes sense. So let's move on to the last tip. So what can you be doing to punch faster every time you're in the gym without even having to think about it? And that is wear bigger gloves. Yes, wear 16-ounce gloves. All of my sessions from when I was a 10-year-old kid in the gym all the way through to I was a 27-year-old, pretty successful professional boxer, I always wore bigger, heavier gloves. Now you might be thinking, well, if you wear bigger gloves, that's going to slow you down. And you're right, it is. It's just like shadowboxing with dumbbells or shadowboxing with the resistance band. It makes you slow. But guess what? When you put on them 10-ounce gloves, after you've been wearing 16-ounce gloves, your speed goes from there to there. Boom! You'll speed up, your punches will speed up very, very nicely. So always wear bigger gloves for when you're training. If you're competing, or even if you're doing mitt work, put the smaller gloves on to make yourself look more impressive and feel good as well. Because guess what? If you feel good when you're boxing training, you're going to perform better. And I want you to perform the best you can. An uppercut is a very advanced punch, so it's important that you know how to do it correctly. And I'm going to show you right now. No, don't do it like that. We want to throw the uppercut like this. I'm going to show you how to do it. So a few things what people do when they are throwing the uppercut. Like you're seeing there, I mean, that was exaggerating it, but people are loaded up. You don't want to load your uppercut up like this. Yeah, you might feel like Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard, but we don't want to do that. You want to bring the uppercut from your face up and turn your hips and throw it up. You want to be going directly straight up, because another common mistake I see would be people who come across. So with them 2 things right there, not loading up the uppercut like this and not punching across over there, will really help improve it. So when we're on the bag and we're doing this, or the ball like this, what we want to do is get in our boxing stance position. If we're throwing it, leading off with it, is we want to turn our hips and bring that up here. As you're seeing there, because I turned my hips, I got power in the punch. And we want to get power in the punch if we're looking for a knockout blow. We can throw it lightly if we're looking for a setup shot, which I'll talk about in a sec. But when we're looking for a correct, solid, straight uppercut, we're here, turn the hips, boom, coming up. Now the end position, the hand wants to be in front of your face, right? And another thing to think about, if you're practicing this, in the gym, look in the mirror, throw this, and then from there, put your arms straight. Now the finished position of uppercut should be the exact same position as a straight cross. I'm here, hips are turned, feet's off the floor. We don't want to be leaning to the side, which is another common mistake I see, where you're like twisting your back, because if we do that, you're not going to get the power, but as well, it's harder to come back with another shot of its own. But if you do there, back heel off the ground, look, I'm in the perfect position to come with the perfect punch after that, which is the hook. So if I do it on the bag, it's a bah, bah. Now watch the feet, watch the hips when I'm throwing this, bah, bah, rotating into it, and that's why I get so much power. So when you are throwing the uppercut, think about them things. We don't want to, boom, come from your face, turn, finish position in front of your face there, not to the side. We want to have that back heel off the ground, and when you are throwing the uppercut, you want to transfer your weight to your front foot. Now, one more thing that you can do when you are doing this is dip. Mike Tyson did it. A dip and then push up. It's a bit slower, but you get even more power in it. Like that. Now, just focus on good form, good technique, and I guarantee you, after doing them few things there, your uppercut will improve the next time you're in the gym. Now, getting all of them things right is great, but without the basic fundamentals, you're kind of screwed. So watch this video next, where I show you every single punch in boxing. Click here and watch this video next.